A lot of us read Surah Yasin, and I want to do some reference. Surah Yasin. Huh? You know, there's an interesting verse amongst the interesting verses in Surah Yasin. Verse number 70. 70. Hear what Allah says. Hear what Allah says. And those of you who read Surah Yasin every day, again, try to ponder on the verses. Make that your New Year change. Ponder on the verses to make a change in our life. So much good, right? Yeah. Ponder on the verses. Hear what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. لِيُنذِرَ مَنْ كَانَ حَيًّا. You know what that means? That this Qur'an is a lesson. This Qur'an is a reminder. Literally, this Qur'an is a warning for people who are living. Could you imagine? Hayya. This Qur'an is a reminder for people who are living. But what have some of us made the Qur'an nowadays? Qaari Sajjad Sahib? They make it a book for the dead. When you call the living to learn to read the Qur'an, they're not available. When you call the living to read the Qur'an, they're not available. To learn to read the Qur'an, to learn to recite the Qur'an, to learn to ponder over the Qur'an, to learn the jurisprudence and the tafsir of the Qur'an, we're not available. And this Qur'an is saying that this message is for the living. Chapter 36, verse 70, a verse that you will always read. But if I were to say tonight we're going to have a dead people function, whoa, boy, you won't see how many people here. Isn't that true, Hafiz Arafat? Qaari Sajjad, be honest, isn't that what goes on? The auditorium is filled and Darul Uloom is filled. What's going on, boy? Somebody died, so we're having a Quranic reading for the dead. But Allah is saying that this Quran is a warning for the living. The dead does not benefit from the message of the Quran. What is wrong with us? No. The dead benefits from blessings, so that's a whole different lecture. Don't misquote this khutbah. Yes, if you read the Quran and you're a righteous child, the good of the righteous child and the students, the blessings will go to the dead who passed away, or the father who passed away. Or yes, if a teacher teaches a student and the student reads the Quran and teaches the Quran and the teacher dies, the teacher will benefit from the Quran. So I'm not meaning that. That's indirectly. But Allah is saying, and if you agree, you agree. You don't have to agree with me, but agree with the Quran. That Allah is saying in verse number 70, chapter 36, لِيُنذِرَ مَنْ كَانَ حَيًّا. This is a message, a warning for those who are living. Right, bhai? How many people who live and take warning from the Quran? Astaghfirullah. How many of us who are alive take warning from the Quran? We don't care. But just when the person dies is when you suddenly meet the sheikhs and the hufaz and you start talking Quran. How much Quran? Khatam a Quran. Finish a Quran. I want all the hufaz to read a Quran. What is this? Nobody says no, I'm not telling you don't do that. But that's not the purpose of the Quran. Those are additional bonus and blessings of the Quran. So don't miss the point. And this is a cultural disease. Bara bimari hai. It's a cultural disease. You see large numbers and great numbers when it comes only to the dead and the Quran. The living, they don't care to learn. They don't care to take the message. They don't care to go through the warning and the reminders of the Quran. Again, the Quran. On another category now, so don't miss the point we're talking about. The Quran is a book of action. What is it? It's a book of amal. A book that teaches us how to live, how to do action. Nowadays, what have we made the Quran? A book just to read. Yeah. No, I'm not saying don't read the Quran. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. First command in the Quran is to read. But the purpose of reading is to practice. So the Quran is a book, actually, in Surah 6, and I don't want you just this. Shafayat said that. I'm backing up whatever I say here with the Quran. In Surah 6, verse 155, Allah says, وَهَذَا كِتَابًا, and this book, أَنزَلْنَاهُ مُبَارَكٌ فَاتَّبِعُوهُ. This is a book that you need to follow. Not a book only to read. What? فَاتَّبِعُوهُ, verse 155, chapter 6. فَاتَّبِعُوهُ, a book of actions, a book to follow, a book to do a'mal. Not just listen. Oh boy, you see some people, we love to hear the qiraat, beautiful recitation. But those are all additional bonus and blessings of the Quran. Every letter you read, you get blessings. So don't go and say, Shaikh Shafayat said, Quran is not to read, it's only to practice. No. Every letter you read, you get 10 blessings. The more you read, the more blessings. But what is the purpose of the Quran? فَاتَّبِعُوهُ, a book, a blessed book to follow. A book of actions. Yeah. Not a book that you only listen to in Ramadan and you only read when people die. Or then you only send your kids to learn Qur'an because madrasa is there and the school is there and they're teaching Qur'an. But we don't encourage our kids to live by the Qur'an, to live by the actions of the Qur'an. No, that's a whole different kettle of fish. Qur'an is a book of action, not just to read.